Well, and I think that, right, that's what I'm seeing, not only on my side, but in the social communities I'm in this network. People are just trying to figure out, how do we operate? We're being faced with things that we just have taken for granted for a very long time, which to me, when we were talking and as we've gotten to know each other over the years, to me, it made a perfect sense why we'd be having this conversation. But I think for a lot of folks, they may be going, okay, get it, right? What's happening with coronavirus, things are very disruptive. The way of life is being challenged. What does that have to do with improv? Because I think there's probably some perceptions out there of, well, what is improv? And I think, probably a lot of people maybe have this kind of initial reaction of, oh, whose line is it anyway? Or, stand-up comedy, or maybe in the corporate space, some people might have a little more experience, but I mean, I can say from over the years where many times I've seen it used is it's hey, we're having a team building event, or there's something going on and we need something that really kind of brings things together. Let's bring in some improv. I see it more than that, but I'm curious your take. Like, how do you overcome that, or what do you say to that?
Well, so we have been a consultancy for 20 years. We're in our 21st year of running this business. And so asking that question 20 years ago would have resulted in different answers than is today. There are people who are more informed now because improv is much more prevalent than it used to be. We look at it, though, as context and situation. So those who are saying, whose line is it anyway, or any great comedy house around the country are saying, well, that's where improvisation lives. However, when you expand that away to other teams that do it, like special forces, do they improvise? Elite chefs, cooking shows, do they improvise? Parents, do they improvise? EMTs, firefighters, responders, sports teams, so we all do this. So the way that we define improv and business improv, there are 3 core competencies, which is reacting, adapting, and communicating. Reacting being ongoing and present and in the moment at a very high level, being engaged. Adapting is if you're reacting within parameters or trying to achieve an outcome, like in a strategy meeting, a sales call, what's happening in the current environment, moving from an intact team to a virtual team. We're reacting and adapting. And the third subroot of this really is communicating. As we're not in space, we're not in a vacuum, we're not disconnected from each other. We are always in the place, or almost always in the place, that we can't communicate with each other. So when you look at reacting and adapting and communicating as the root of business improv, the real question is, who doesn't do this and who doesn't need to get better at doing this now?